Hello, welcome to my second video. It's the Heroes of the Storm patch notes for August 8th of 2017. Yes, I know I'm a few days late, but I wanted to play around on the live servers and see what I could tell from the patch notes themselves. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip the general because it's just versus AI and quick match. We're actually going to go to the hero adjustments. I mean, if you play Heroes of the Storm, you know Garrosh is there. You know he's a tank. He's a warrior. He plays really well. I really do enjoy him. I'm excited he's actually in the game. So the heroes, they've made a few changes. There's not a lot. It's 6 changes total. 2 to assassins, 2 to warriors, 1 specialist and 1 support. So we'll start with the assassins. Ragnaros. Ragnaros got a slight nerf. His living meteor, its damage was reduced from 72 to 68. Blast wave cooldown was reduced from 10 to 9 seconds, which isn't that big of a deal. It's 1 second. The living meteor damage reduction is kind of big for him because that's one of his big farming tools. So let's go over some of his talents. His shifting meteor, which is part of his living meteor. It's a little bit of a alteration to it. The cool thing about this is every time the enemy is hit by the living meteor, they take an additional 3% damage. So if it rolls like 3 or 4 times, so if the enemy stands in it, they take 3% damage every time they get hit by it. So if you play it right, drop it the same way they're going to run, or where they're running to, they are going to take a lot of damage, which will adjust this. Engulfing Flame, they adjusted the functionality, no longer grants cooldown reduction on Blast Wave, which, okay. It now increases the damage by 75%, which is a huge increase on damage. They removed the superheated buff. Blistering attacks on their passive. Every 10 seconds, your next basic attack deals 60% bonus damage. Enemies hit by your basic attack reduces the cooldown by 1 second. This stacks with Sulfurous Swing, so if you hit 3 or 4 enemies, it will reduce it by 3 or 4 seconds. And it deals an additional 60% bonus damage, which is ridiculously high. Molten Power, damage bonus increased from 15 to 20, which is a nice buff on there. Lava Surge. This is huge. Lava Surge, the cooldown reduction was increased from 10 seconds to 30 seconds. That's a 20-second increase on level 20. Lava Surge, in my opinion, was only good on the Braxis Holdout, where the Zergarush was, though. So, honestly, you don't see a lot of the Lava Surge. You see a lot more Sulfurous Smash, which is a nice AoE stun if you can land it. So I don't think this is actually going to affect a lot of people. Alright, let's move on to the Butcher. His basic range, or basic attack damage was lowered from 140 to 130. Okay. His abilities. Fresh Meat trait. Meat required to complete the quest was increased from 125 to 200. The damage bonus per meat stack decreased from 1 to 0.5. Meat dropped by enemy heroes increased from 5 to 25. And bonus damage on quest completion increased from 100 to 125. And then once the quest is completed, enemy heroes continue to drop meat, giving the Butcher 5 permanent basic attack damage per meat collected. And then they removed one of his traits. So here's what I think is going to happen with Butcher. I think he's still a late game champion, as he was when he first came out and has been. The meat required, it's going to force him to fight. It's going to force him to be in team fights, because you get 25 meat from each hero killed. It's going to force him to be around the team when they initiate on a 5v4, or now it would be a 5v5, because you only need, let's see, 8 hero kills to do this. So if you actually get that, you rush his late game early on, he's going to be strong. He is strong, especially if he can hit that 25 or that 200 stacks real fast. So Probius, his Worker Rush no longer can be activated while the Worker Rush buff is still active. This was more of a bug. So what it did was when you were leaving the spawn area, if you hit Z again, which is the mount button for Probius's Worker Rush, it would prevent it from actually... It would start it and then stop it, and then you'd have to wait for the cooldown. So, Ariel, the support angel from Diablo, her resource bar will now glow when at maximum hope. This is more of a visual thing. It's kind of cool. It'll glow, and it'll allow you to know that she's at maximum hope, and her heals will actually be really good. So let's move on to the warriors. D.Va. Her level 4 talents, instead of preventing D.Va from moving during defense matrix, this talent now adds an additional 50% slow for diverting power. D.Va's defense matrix is already strong. This is going to make it stronger. I have a feeling she's going to move from I think she's an A tier. Let's see. Yeah, she's a tier 3 average hero. I think she's going to move into a tier 2, possibly a tier 1. Hero. With the additional 50% slow, it's going to add so much if you can hit that. And then Sona's Whirlwind, the time required after activation before the ability can be cancelled increased from 0.5 to 1 seconds. This should help prevent accidental cancels. So her Whirlwind would go, and then sometimes you would hit E again and it'd stop it. I've done this a few times, and it actually prevents kills. This was a cosmetic type thing. A lot of people were mistaking it, so it's a nice change. There wasn't a lot this patch other than Garrosh coming out and the map rotation change. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it helped out. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see next.